Chapter 27. Andrew watched the verbal exchange between the guy in front of him and the two who still had their weapons pointed at him. He couldn't read much from their expressions, but the way the guards finally relaxed made it clear Shearer's acquaintance had just won a contest of authority. The leader gave a curt nod. Shearer stepped into the yawning opening without hesitation. Andrew followed, the chill from within brushing against his skin like breath from a crypt. A damp draught clung to the stone walls, carrying with it a scent of old earth. The descent was steep. Each step groaned underfoot, the stone worn smooth by time. Andrew kept one hand pressed to the wall. It was rough and cold, grounding him in a way nothing else was. He tried not to think about how deep they were going, or how thick the earth might be between him and the surface. Finally, level ground again. The hatch slammed shut above them with a metallic thud, echoing like a coffin lid sealing shut. Darkness swallowed them. "Don't try anything," Craven said, voice low and tense. "Remember, he's much slower than you." Andrew flinched at the threat, even though the others, the ones with the guns, had remained outside. "And what makes you think I care about him?" Shearer's voice cut through the dark, calm, cold, edged like a blade. It came from somewhere ahead, just out of reach. There was a pause. Then he heard the sharp scrape of flint. Sparks danced behind them, and warm fire bloomed from a torch held by Craven. Andrew blinked, shielding his eyes from the sudden glow. The flame painted Shearer in stark light and shadow. She stood a few feet ahead, holding the torch that Craven had just handed to her, her gaze fixed on the darkness beyond. "You're lucky I like you," she muttered, but her tone was distracted, her focus elsewhere. Andrew watched her warily. There was something feral in the way she moved, in how earlier, even with guns trained on her, the guards had treated her like something unpredictable, something dangerous. They had feared her. Why? He hadn't seen her do anything, really. And yet, deep down, he felt it too. There was something about her that set his instincts on edge. He fell in behind her as they moved forward into the tunnel, the walls pressed close, every step echoed off the stone. The ceiling was low and he ducked instinctively, his shoulder brushing wet limestone. His mind churned. Hours ago he had been at home, still stunned by Lily's lifeless body and Carmen's absence. Now he was underground, in the middle of a desert, led by a woman whose secrets outnumbered her words. He didn't know what scared him more, what she was, or the pull she seemed to have on him. The torchlight danced across the walls, casting grotesque shadows that twisted and merged like ghosts. His heart thudded against his ribs. Was Carmen somewhere near? Was she even alive? Her face flashed across his vision, dark eyes, hair always a mess, her laugh bright as sunlight. He swallowed hard. This can't be real. Vampires aren't real. This has to be a dream, a delusion. But the ache in his ribs from being thrown across the room was real. The scent of blood in his memory was real. Lily's torn body. His stomach twisted. The tunnel sloped deeper. The air grew warmer, heavier. His shirt clung to his back. Without warning, the passage opened into a vast underground chamber. The air changed, still and ancient. The walls were smooth, carved stone, each inch covered with faded hieroglyphs. Torchlight flickered across painted scenes, processions, sacrifices, gods with falcon heads and jackal snouts, and among them, unmistakably, figures with fangs, kneeling humans, obedient and worshipping. Andrew's breath caught in his throat, his skin crawled. Where the hell were they? "Where are we?" Shearer asked, lifting the torch higher. "Under the Great Pyramid," Craven said from behind them. Andrew turned, stunned. The Great Pyramid? This chamber belonged to the first Keeper's heir. Torak's successor, Craven said, stepping into the room like he owned it. Shearer moved forward, the flame illuminating more of the ancient murals. Andrew followed slowly, not trusting the floor, not trusting any of this. Every part of him screamed to run, but where would he go? "What are we doing here?" she asked. Craven's smile widened. It wasn't friendly. "You're here to meet your destiny." Andrew stared at the wall beyond Craven, at a fading figure painted in ochre and gold, crowned and cloaked in red. The figure held a chalice in one hand and a baby in the other. He couldn't breathe.